back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Boaz Mohammed Yusuf.
And we got some stuff. We got Firestorm revealed for Injustice 2. We got PlayStation Now getting PS4 games. We've got the ever so wonderful topic of the Mass Effect face controversy. Oh boy, that will be fun. Guilty Gear Excerpt, Rev 2, gets a release date. And Lucio rework. Oh boy, is that going to be fun. Before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So I finally finished Zelda.
Oh, nice.
Powered through, got to the final dungeon. Not really much of a spoiler. The final dungeon is Hyrule Castle itself, which is really interesting. Hyrule Castle is a really weird dungeon because the way the dungeon is designed is that it is designed in a way that it can be tackled at any time, which is I find interesting as like the final because they specified that when you finish the first tutorial area, which is the Great Plateau, you can theoretically just go straight to Ganon, right? It's really difficult to go straight to Ganon, but it is doable. But that was made a little more interesting because it's the way the dungeons are, especially that one in particular. There's so many multiple ways you can tackle Hyrule Castle. It's pretty crazy because in Zelda dungeons are usually there's a very specific way you're supposed to progress in this dungeon, right? In Hyrule Castle, there are just tons. There's tons of different ways you can tackle it. Like there's the way that I did it, which was I flew to the bottom and I went through this tunnel that brought me through the interior of the castle, and that brought me up to a higher point in it, and I climbed the rest of my way to the top. I avoided the really heavy... There was one point where I got trapped in a room with this really incredibly hard-to-fight enemy and two laser turrets shooting at me, and I went, I'm not going to stay in this room, I'm going to climb out. You can't trap me in here. And I was able to climb out, and I just ran. And it's really interesting how like you could technically if you somehow found a way, there are pillars that are nearby that if you're able to fight your way up while climbing to the top, you could probably glide down from the top of the pillars and land pretty close to the top of Hyrule Castle and get close to the boss that way. So there's a lot of weird it's weird, it's a weird final dungeon. But the final boss was... There was this great moment in the final boss where it's like, all right, everyone, let's do this. And it was awesome, and it kicked so much ass. I really liked that part of the boss fight. And honestly, I thought it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed the game a lot. I do want to talk about something... that is a bit spoilery, so once again, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, skip to like a minute or so. The thing that I was a little bit disappointed with this game was how in the game they advertised Zelda in so many cutscenes, right? Like Zelda's in these scenes, right? You see her, running, you see her standing with her cool gear, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is that the way this game's plot works is that you were resurrected from 100 years ago. Okay. And all those cutscenes are flashbacks. So you get to see flashbacks of the super cool group, which are cool, and they do show up in ghost form in this game, but you don't get to travel with Zelda. And I was really disappointed with that because I was really excited to be like, okay, this is a game where I'm going to be traveling the wild with Zelda, and that's going to help me care about Zelda a little bit more, Like, just spending time with a character can help you actually care about them a little bit more. But because it was all flashbacks, I felt myself not caring about Zelda as much as I could have, And I was a little bit disappointed in that regard that that's how the story kind of went. However, this is something that I thought was really interesting, is that when you beat the game, the last cutscene in the game is Zelda is resurrected as well, and you are continuing where you left off 100 years ago. And it shows her in her cool badass gear, and you in your cool badass gear walking up to Zora's domain. Zora's domain. And that makes me interested because is that going to lead into the DLC? Because if the DLC is about a little mini adventure with Zelda traveling with you, I'm actually going to be really excited for the DLC. So that was my thing where I was like, I wish I got to travel more with her, you know? And after watching all of the cutscenes, I think the voice acting was actually pretty solid overall. I think it was a very solid first attempt. I wouldn't say it's top tier. Like, if I had to grade the voice acting, I would call it like B plus. You know?
Okay.
Like, it's not like a like slam dunk or home run as far as like a dub goes, but it's a solid like B plus. I think is how I would describe it. And considering this is the first time Zelda has ever had voice acting, and unless you account for those really shitty CDI games, this is a pretty good first attempt. Overall, really enjoyed the game. And then I finally, because I finished Zelda, I dived right into Nier Automata, and that game is pretty friggin' awesome. So it's got the platinum combat. You know, you got your sick combos. You've got these amazing dodges, and I love how when you do it's sort of like you know in Bayonetta when you would dodge and you would like split into butterflies or something like that. In this, you split into like these like weird ghost-like forms, and then you just start sprinting when you come back, and you can do counter moves. And it's a really in-depth combat to this game, and it's a lot of fun. Like, that's the big thing. It's not clunky like Nier 1, which was a big problem of the first game. It's more fluid. It feels great. The other thing is that I really, really like Yoko Taro's really weird writing in this game, and how there's like little bits of stuff that I find interesting. Like, one of the cool things is that there's weapons in this game, right? There's like great swords, spears, katanas, stuff like that, right? And when you upgrade a weapon, not only does it give you your stats for that weapon, it gives you a little bit of a story to that weapon. So when you're in the description of the weapon, it says level 1, and it will say this was a spear that was passed down to this warrior, and then this is something that happened to this person. And then when you upgrade it again, the story continues, you know, and you get little beats. Like, the weapons have like character of their own, which is very interesting. I've only actually ever seen that done in Transistor, which is another game that did that. The other thing that I found really interesting was he likes to kind of poke fun of how this is more of a Japanese game design thing. When you think Hyrule Warrior or Dynasty Warriors in particular, right? You know, it's like you're supposed to be playing this heroic, amazing badass. You know, and you're the good guy, and you're killing hundreds upon hundreds of people. You know, and his response to that trope is that anyone who would be killing hundreds and hundreds of people for whatever cause would not exactly be normal or very stable. So he likes to play with that kind of mentality, especially where people go, man, you really kill a lot of those machines, don't you? Do you kind of have fun doing this? You know? And I really enjoy that like little... Those little like Taro like writing bits that he likes to put in his games, and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's very weird. I've only really gotten a little bit far through the story, but there is some weird shit, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But other than that, that's what I played this week. What about you, Fawaz?
So I this is becoming a theme, but it's I didn't really play a whole lot. My family came to visit from Hamilton, and then school. So I didn't really I barely spent any time at home this week actually. But I did have enough time to play a little bit more of Neo. Now I just played for like an hour or so. I made it to I was stuck on this one area and I made it to the boss. I've gotten a lot better at key pulsing. So not key pulsing, key flux, which is when you switch stances. You switch stances in between your key pulses to increase the amount of key you get back. And one really cool thing is that, because I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you get a different dash depending on which stance you're in. Right? The high stance, for example, you get a roll that uses up a lot of stamina, but low stance you get a really fast dash. I don't know the numbers, like which one has more invulnerability, but I do know that the low stance's dash, is a lot faster and it uses up less stamina. So one thing that you do is that I do anyway is I do my combo in high stance, I keep pulse, and then I flux into low stance, and I retreat. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I went back to the axe.
Nice.
I'm going between the axe and the sword. But the cool thing is that you can respec in this game. I already have one of the items that you can use to respec. So I'm just feeling stuff out, and then because I know I can respec, it's allowing me to experiment a little more. I'm probably gonna build my character completely incorrectly, because I was watching this one dude and he was like, yeah, he built his character like a Dark Souls character, and that was incorrect. There's no hard caps. There's no hard caps on stats in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in Bloodborne, for example, you never want to go past 25. Well, not never, but you really never want to go past 25, because the gains that you got for every point you put into 25 wasn't as much. And then once you hit 40, I think it was a hard cap.
I know Dark Souls, it was usually 40 that people recommended you.
Yeah. 40, but like I've seen people with builds where they had their strength at 99. So there's no hard caps in this game. And I mean, like, it's it's weird, right? Because it's that issue that you always have where a game is similar enough to make you comfortable, but the differences then become a problem. Like not an actual problem. Like I'm not complaining because this is what I wanted, but it does make things a little bit more difficult because there's certain things that you'll try to do the way you did them in the other game, but then it doesn't work that way in this game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I made it to the boss, this giant frog dude with a pipe. I almost beat him on my second try, so I don't think famous last words, but I don't think it'd be that difficult. It's weird though, because the last boss was a similar thing, was this giant cat with like multiple tails. And it wasn't difficult. So like none of the boss's abilities were particularly hard to deal with. But like I worry that because of that I might not take him seriously enough, and then it'll take me a lot longer. But yeah, I went in and I was playing and I was fighting against him. I was just doing my practice run. And I was just dodging all his shit, and then before I knew it, he was down to like 50%. I was like, oh shit, maybe I can give this a try. And then eventually I died, because what happened was that, okay, so if you block an attack, it drains your stamina, right? And if you get hit after your stamina gets drained, you get stunned. So like, yeah, you freeze in place. So he hit me with a 3-hit combo. The first hit, I blocked it, broke my guard. Second hit me, stunned me. Third hit killed me. And I was like, shit. But yeah, that's the other thing. And that's another thing that you gotta keep in mind, is that the amount of stamina drained when you block is relative to what stance you are in. So low stance has the worst guard, I believe. I think mid stance has the best guard. I'm gonna have to check that, but I know low stance's guard is terrible. So low stance is when you want to be dodging and shit, and I think mid stance has the best guard. If you want to be guarding bosses' attack, switching stance. But yeah. Other than that, there's not a lot of variety with enemies in this game. I'm probably about halfway through the game, maybe a little over half, maybe a little under, and I've seen a lot of the same enemies. So yeah, that's really the only disappointing thing about the game right now. There's not a lot of enemy variety. Hopefully the DLC fixes that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing this week.
All right.
So our first bit of news is Firestorm got added to Injustice, and it continues the trend from, I think last week we covered Dr. Fate, and it continues the trend of adding lesser known DC characters. I mean, sure, Firestorm is on
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legend of Tomorrow, and I think he was on The Flash, but he's still not Superman. So yeah, in terms of gameplay, I watched the trailer and I obviously this is 100% speculation based on what I saw, but he looks interesting. At least his trait looks like an install. Which is just straight up disappointing because I mean I've already said that I'm not a big fan of installs.
Not your
but
thing.
Anyway, sorry.
Not your thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of installs, but this is just 100% speculation. Maybe his install does something really really interesting, right? But in terms of his gameplay, he looks like he turns zoning into he's a bit of a zoner. Because I watched the trailer and he did this thing to Catwoman where he hit her with a fireball. And then he comboed it into this move that like sticks them to the ground, and he turned that into a full combo. Something really interesting happened though. He did a move and he changed his flame from red to blue. So I'm curious to see how that's going to affect his gameplay. But overall, he looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see more of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like honestly, I'm just glad they're continuing the trend. Like I like to see. Obviously, Question's gonna be coming soon. I can feel it. Just in my soul. So, very excited.
I cannot wait for the podcast after Question has been announced. I just can't wait to see Tanner's reaction. Hopefully he's voiced by what's his name again?
I should know. But the voice actor from Justice League Ultimated or something like that. Because the voice actor was perfect.
He was pretty badass.
He was perfect for the role. But yeah, Injustice, pretty cool. Next up, we got PlayStation.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey, yeah. There we go. Shout-outs to Jeffrey. You're an amazing badass. If you ever want to be on this podcast, please send us a message.
Justice League Unlimited. God damn it.
Yeah, I know. I should know. Yeah, I should know. But our next topic is PlayStation Now is getting some PS4 games.
Yeah. So the bigger news here was that I thought PlayStation Now always had PS4 games. that like caught me off guard when I saw the headline. But yeah, this is this is big news. It increases the library, and a lot of people. I mean, I can't think it's a coincidence. This is happening like what, a week after talking about Xbox Game Pass and how amazing it is and how it shits all over PlayStation Now, and then like literally a week or two later, Sony are like, oh, we're adding PS4 games to PlayStation Now. So this can't be a coincidence.
No, I feel like it must be like they realize, okay, Xbox is bringing their A game in this front. We're falling behind. We need to punch back, and this is their attempt to punch back.
Yeah, and just for the record, when Tanner says you're falling behind, he means PlayStation Now, not like the PS4.
No, I mean like I meant like in this aspect, as far as like the streaming service, if you will, or whatever.
Yeah, so this is why Xbox Game Pass excited me so much, even though I don't own an Xbox, and this is why I always laugh at fanboys, and when they're all like, oh, I really, when Sony fanboys are like, oh, I want Sony to crush Microsoft, and I want Microsoft to fail, and I'm like, the only person that benefits is Sony. It doesn't benefit you. In fact, it does the exact opposite. Sony crushing Microsoft and Nintendo is the reason why we got a $600 console at the start of last generation that was undershipped and a piece of shit. So, like, when I see stuff like this and I'm like, competition is good for the consumer, So hopefully Xbox Game Pass is a resounding success.
Yep.
And then it forces Sony to step their game up with PlayStation Now, because like I said, I don't have any numbers with PlayStation Now, so I'm gonna be talking out of my ass, and Sony might be printing money with PlayStation Now. But I
feel like PlayStation Now is kind of like it's a service that exists. I don't think it's necessarily a failure, but
it's not a success.
It's not a success. It's kind of like middle of the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I hope the Xbox One Game Pass's potential success convinces Sony to improve PlayStation Now, because if something like Xbox One Game Pass if PlayStation now allowed me, let me just put it, if PlayStation now allowed me to download PS3 games, I would already own it.
Oh yeah,
I would
yeah,
I would have a PlayStation Now subscription, especially for $10 a month. I would
yeah,
definitely have a PlayStation Now subscription, 100%.
yeah.
Even if it's only for a couple of months, just so I can like finish. There's a bunch of PS3 games I never really got to finish, so I can just
Mm-hmm.
finish Skyrim. I can finish off Shadow of the Colossus. I can finish off all these games, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's just for that, just for like 3 or 4 months. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it probably won't be an annual thing that I do, like PlayStation Plus, but it definitely be something that I consider every now and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Let's
Oh,
Okay, so
let's.
now, honestly, all that stuff that was just the appetizer. This right here, this is the main course, and I've been waiting to hear Tana's opinion on this bit of news. So, over the course of this past week, a bunch of
Mm.
videos have sprung up from a demo for Mass Effect Andromeda, and the issues that have arisen, that the animations are kind of shit, and not like bad. They're like bad. Okay, so the facial animations aren't too bad. They're just creepy because they're not like animated properly. The
Mm.
main protagonist and some of the characters she was talking to, their faces don't move. But then there's also this thing where they're running. They look like they were crab walking, and it's interesting. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
let Tana take
Mm.
first swig at this.
Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna explain the situation, how my perspective of the situation is. Okay, I get it. Like it's funny. Like there's animation snafus. There's obviously build errors in the animation system itself. It's obviously a large game. I get it. And granted, I understand why people are pointing and laughing. Like I get it. It's fun to laugh at this particular part of the game. But this is part of the reason why I got so fucking pissed when I read this and I saw this was happening, because the same thing that happened to me when 3 came out is happening to me again with Andromeda. I'm seeing people now there's some things that are pissing me off. For example, what somebody like some people are doing is that they're taking this shot of PB, right? And they're not taking a shot from the game. What they're doing is that like they're photoshopping PB's face, flipping it upside down, making her eyes cross-eyed as the thumbnail, going, "Oh, Mass Effect animation, super shit. Let's get this thumbnail up to 100,000 likes," you know? And that fucking pisses me off because what's happening is that everyone's focused on this particular thing and they're ignoring everything else, and it's all that everyone is talking about. And this is exactly what I had to go through with Mass Effect 3. In Mass Effect 3, there were a lot of really good elements of the game that nobody fucking talked about because everyone was too busy complaining about the ending. Now, granted, I get it. I get why there were a lot of reason and a lot of people who wanted to argue about the ending, and I was unsatisfying. I get it. But nobody wanted to admit that there were some other aspects of the game that were genuinely good. All they wanted to talk about was the ending. And now I'm getting the exact same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda, and it fucking pisses me off. And there are a couple of things I want to point out. One, Mass Effect has Mass Effect has never really had really great animation, and I don't understand how like people are complaining about the animation. There now, obviously there are errors. I get it, but like Mass Effect 3 animation wasn't particularly fantastic. It was doable, it was tolerable, but it was never really fantastic. So part of me was getting pissed off. Like, okay, obviously now everyone wants to get really uppity and throw the screenshots up. It's kind of like how do I put it? It's kind of like when you think of like an animation from a bigger scale. If you zoom in on particular frames, of course you're going to find that one bad frame. It's just unfortunate that with Mass Effect's case, there's a lot of bad frames that are popping up, and people are using that to skyrocket these videos. And the other thing that I don't like is that we live in an age where there's games like think about it, like Dark Souls, for example.
Uh-huh.
Like Dark Souls has no like facial animation. When characters are talking to you, they don't even move. They don't even have lip movement. And nobody complained about that. Like nobody memed about that. And like games that I also really like Persona. Like Persona doesn't really have much lip movement in their animation models. They work on their voice acting and the thing. But if you look at those Persona models, they're not anything really that spectacular. And the thing that pisses me off is that a lot of the stuff that I've talked to who've played the game, who've played Mass Effect Andromeda, because of the early access, right?
Yeah.
They've talked about, like, you know, the planets are cool to explore, the story's really compelling, and it's top-tier voice acting, but that is getting completely overshadowed by this facial animation stuff. And it's just so frustrating to me. It's so frustrating to me that everyone is focusing on this particular part and not talking about the game as a whole. And this is something that happened to me with 3. I guess it's just because I'm getting this twice, you know? I had this happen to me with 3, where whenever I wanted to talk about Mass Effect 3, the conversation would always go towards the ending. It would never go towards the entire game. It would never go towards like the voice acting or some of the really great moments in Mass Effect 3. It would always go towards the ending. And that's what I'm seeing with this, and that's why this entire controversy is pissing me off. Now, granted, I do realize that, yes, this animation does not look great, and they have stated that they're not going to be able to fix it day one, which is understandable. I get it. Like, you can't just go, oh, there's this, we can't fix it. But there's so many other games that I guess get away with having bad animations, and this one in particular is getting freaking thrown underneath the bus so freaking hard. I don't know. I guess it just pisses me off. And once again, I get to be on the unpopular side of the argument. You know, yay me.
Well, to me, touch on that argument about, you know, the comparison between Dark Souls and, like, I mean, you can't, I mean, the reason why people poke fun at this and not at Dark Souls is because, like, Dark Souls isn't it doesn't revolve around the conversations, right? Like, people made fun of Oblivion because, like, everyone looked like they were trying to murder you with their eyes when you were talking to them, right? Because you spoke to a lot of people in Oblivion. You speak to like 4 people in the entirety of Dark Souls, right? So
well, that's the thing. Like, I get what you're getting at, but there are a lot of times in Dark Souls where I am talking to people, like multiple quest lines. Like, I'm talking to Sigmire in every single game. I do get what you're saying, though, is that, yes, Dark Souls is more focused on its gameplay and less its story. But I do get annoyed when it's like, it's skinning away with that, you know?
I mean, plus, like, here's the thing, right? You know, like, to go to the other point with the Mass Effect 3 versus this, like, I don't know. I feel like, I didn't feel like anyone was taking this situation. I feel like you're the person who's taking this situation the most seriously out of everyone, because every article I've read is like, okay, this is, you know, no one has been like, oh my god, you know, like, this is so shameful and like, I'm not going to, but I haven't seen a single person be like, well, I cancelled my pre-order over this, you know. I haven't seen a single person be like, this game is going to be shit. Just people poking fun at the game, you know, the same way like you poke fun at, well, like Skyrim, when like videos of like a dude levitating over his horse.
Yeah.
Comes out and people like that, ha 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 ha. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there's also the fact that, I mean, this is just pre-release, right? Like, by the time the game comes out, if the game is good, no one's going to remember any of this.
Yeah.
Like, this, I don't think this is going to be as bad as the ending fiasco.
Yeah, I realize. Yeah, I agree with you. I realize that the ending fiasco was a whole other like can of worms.
Compare, because like with the ending fiasco, now I never played Mass Effect 3, right? But I can vouch for an ending ruining. Okay, like maybe not a game. I haven't played a game where the ending ruined it for him, but like a movie, 310 to Yuma. That's one of my favorite cowboy movies ever. You should watch that movie, by the way. But the ending ruined that movie for me. Like, I think the best analogy I can think of is, I think Yahtzee used this for Call of Duty 4, because Call of Duty 4 the ending was also shit. And he was like, that, you know, it was like you go to a restaurant, you get this really good meal, and then when you ask for the bill, the chef comes out and farts in your face. And
yeah, I see the comparison. Well, because I played 2 of the 3 games in the trilogy, right? And with the Mass Effect 3 ending,
you played 2 of the 3. You never played Mass Effect 1.
I never really played Mass Effect 1. I've watched a playthrough of Mass Effect 1. Yeah, lucky me. Like, but I guess maybe I am just taking it too seriously because I'm getting so many flashbacks to that time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
do you understand why that this is that?
I understand why that would have been annoying, right?
That would have
Because,
been
like
annoying.
you said, and I can't say anything. I haven't played Mass Effect 3,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody I've spoken to about Mass Effect 3 is always like the ending was shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but that's my point. That's
So,
my
yeah,
that you
I
actually
can
just
definitely see
you
where you're
just
coming
nailed
from.
you nailed it on the head. Is that everyone I talk to just talks about the ending. The reason why I'm getting so pissed off is that I don't want this to be, oh, those animations were so shit, and that's all that they remember from Andromeda. That's what I don't want. I think maybe you are right, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's why this pisses me off.
I feel like if in 2 months' time people are still talking about this facial controversy, it means that Andromeda was so bad and you have bigger things to worry about than the facial controversy.
Yeah. Maybe I'm overthinking it. That is good. I am glad that you could say that to me and say like, yeah, I'm overthinking it. But that was why I was just every time I saw, because that's the thing is that I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed, right, and I just want to enjoy some videos, and every time I'm scrolling, oh look, there's another one. Oh look, there's another one. Oh look, it's like I can't. I don't know.
The whole of Thursday, my friend, he's really excited for Andromeda, and he owns an Xbox, so he's like that. This is the first game of the year that I'm excited for. So he's like panicking. He's like that. Oh my god, I really want this game to be good. And I'm just like, But the other thing is that me, I don't really care about graphics that much,
Yeah.
So for me, when I saw this, I was like, it was hilarious, right? Because the scene, she comes in and it's like, your father is dead, and she's like, my father is dead, and she has a smile on her face while she's saying it. And I'm like. And then that other girl, she's like, sorry about my face. I'm just really tired. Is this actually in the game?
I would. There is some hilarity to it. I do get it. I guess more from my perspective, I was just worried that like, oh god, is this just gonna be a repeat of 3? Like I am glad your calming words have really hit me hard, and I can not be as angry about this as I was previously.
This is a reversal of roles.
Yeah, this is weird. Usually I'm the one with the optimism. What an odd day today.
But I'm glad I could help.
Yeah.
And, so Mass Effect Andromeda, a little funny little bit of controversy. I just wanted to hear what Tana thought about it.
I'm surprised I'm surprised if you were like surprised by my reaction to this in general.
I was surprised. I was honestly surprised by how upset you got over this. Because when you were like, you're about to see Angry Tana, I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But it made sense. Yeah. I can definitely understand where you're coming from, and I can understand your frustration with the Mass Effect 3 situation. Because even for someone who hasn't played Mass Effect 3, everyone other than the bad ending, people always talk about the good multiplayer and the combat system. One of my friends was like that he really liked the combat system. Mass Effect 3 did do some things right, but people understandably were really frustrated with the ending, especially since they waited 3 games and like 7 years for it.
Yeah.
But Mass Effect Andromeda, we'll see.
I mean, like the good thing is that like I've already pre-ordered my copy. I'm gonna have my version of it on Tuesday or whenever that is, and hopefully next podcast I'll put in my thoughts about how I think the game is so far. Like, because I really want to just play it. At this point, like I just want to play it and see. Like how it feels from the people who have played the early access, they say that the story is actually really compelling, and I'm really excited for that because that's one of BioWare's stronger suits. So I don't know, but overall, I think that was a good discussion. Let's talk about some more positives. Not more.
Positive discussion.
Yeah.
Is recent patch coming to Guilty Gear Revelator, which is coming packaged with Revelator 2. So Rev 2 got a release date. It's coming to North America in May. Shit. I forgot to check the exact date. So it's coming on May 26th. Hey, it's my little sister's birthday.
Hey.
And it's gonna be $20 if you want a digital upgrade, and it's gonna be $40 if you want to get the standalone. So shout outs to them for doing that first of all. The key features are we get 2 new characters right now. I'm hoping we get more than 2, but the fact that they are promoting it as 2 new characters makes me think we're only getting 2 this time, which is kind of disappointing because I thought we are gonna get at least 4. But whatever. Biking, fan favorite Biking, who's been getting implants in her time off, and Answer, who is a ninja that uses like business cards and shit.
Yeah.
So standard Guilty Gear fare. We're also getting new story content, but I don't really care about that shit. Guilty Gear story is so convoluted I can't even follow it. And then we're getting rebalances. So so they did a bunch of these things called loc tests, so location tests. It's pretty much like they'll release a patch and then they'll release it to the arcades. And they'll try it out, get some feedback, and they'll tweak before they release it. Elfelt got destroyed in the most recent patch. I'm actually kind of upset about that. She got completely. They reduced her health. They gave her like Milia health, which is like second lowest in the game. So I'm hoping I hope that doesn't stick. They reduced her damage. They reduced her shotgun pressure. They took away her unblockable. They nerfed her a couple of her normals. It's pretty bad. However, everyone is getting changed, so I'm trying not to panic. And because right now I'm looking at Elfelt in a vacuum, right? I'm looking at Elfelt in her current state compared to the old Guilty Gear.
The old Guilty Gear, yeah.
But she won't be playing in the old Guilty Gear, so I'm trying to keep a positive mind. It's coming out before Evo, so that's good. So I guess we're probably going to be running this version for Evo, so that's always good because Japan is going to come, and then if Japan comes, and because Japan would playing on this and then we'll be playing on the old one, it's not a good look. So yeah, but yeah, it's
I am excited. Like honestly, I every time we talk about Guilty Gear, I'm like more and more intrigued to like buy Guilty Gear. It's just the learning curve that scares me away because I know that it's a freaking deep learning curve to figure out. But I don't know. Maybe if when Rev 2 comes out, I might consider it. But yeah, it is only $40. I mean, if now is the time, if there is any time to do it, and it might as well be now. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. And overall, I think this is good stuff for everybody.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. The learning curve is pretty steep. The cool thing is that there's a lot of mechanics, but you can get away with not using some of them. You don't have to use all of them at first. You can start off and just play the game at a basic level, not insta block, not green block, not all that stuff. But it's no matter how you do it, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game to play. There's a lot of stuff happening. And then the other thing is that because the characters are so unique, it makes every matchup a unique matchup. So you spend hours, you play against, say you bought the game, say you were playing Kai, you spend hours playing against me, you're playing Kai versus Elfelt, and you get really good at the matchup, and you're like, oh wow, I'm feeling good. And you go online and you play against a chip, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. And then you get really good at the chip matchup, and then you go online and play against Zato, and you're like, I actually have no idea what's going on right now. So the learning curve of this game is very steep. It's very steep. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend it to everybody, man. This is a really fun game. It's very rewarding. There's few games that reward the amount of time you put into it. This was the issue a lot of people had with Marvel vs. Capcom, right? And even Street Fighter 4, for a little while, was that it felt like sometimes you would win games that you didn't deserve to win.
Right.
I mean, that always happens. It doesn't matter what game it is. There were some times when your opponent will just get lucky. They'll just get lucky, they'll make the right call, they'll do a move that is inefficient, and they'll just get away with it. That just happens. But it doesn't happen very often in this game. More often than not, when you lose, you felt like, okay, I deserve to lose that, and when you win, you're like, yes.
You earned that victory. It wasn't just like, I hit a random button at the right time, and that's what got me the win,
Yeah, because... For example, let me this is the last thing I'm gonna touch on. Let me give you a basic example. There's 2 types of block. Well, there's 3 types of block. There's the regular blocking, there's insta blocking, and there's green blocking, right? So Regular blocking is regular blocking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Insta blocking is when you block right as the attack is about to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just blocking. Your character flashes white. It doesn't cost you any. It doesn't cost you any resources. It increases your meter gain, and it doesn't push the opponent as it increases your meter gain. It increases like your frame advantage. Which okay, I'm never gonna get into that. It just makes certain moves less safe. So there's certain moves that you have to insta block if you want to punish them, right? Because they don't go as far back. And
I'm already lost.
Really?
No, I am. It seems like there's different types of blocking.
Okay, because what I was getting at is that okay, so instant blocking doesn't push them as far away.
Okay.
But green blocking, there's the green blocking which costs meter. It negates chip and it pushes them back, right?
Okay.
So there's certain situations where you want to insta block. You like someone does something, you insta block and you punish it. But in the other situations where they're doing a string, you green block, you push them far back, they whiff, and then you punish that. And then just learning those intricacies and just knowing when to do one or the other, and then seeing it actually play out in a game and reward yourself is crazy, man. I love this game. It's a lot of fun. And then there's always something new to learn. You never feel like, oh, I figured this game out. You're never gonna figure this game out.
There's always something new to kind of wrap your mind around.
Always something new. Yeah. So yeah, Guilty Gear. Revelator, Guilty Gear Xrd, Rev 2.
Yeah, Rev 2, I think is what it's
May
official.
26th, $20 for me, $40. Y'all need to pick it up. Y'all need to pick it up. And so our last bit of news is a pretty damn big one. So,
oh boy.
So overall, Blizzard were like that. Oh yeah, we just released this little patch on the PTR, and you're like, oh okay, cool. It's actually really funny because this is how it went. I'm reading through the patch notes, and I'm like, oh okay, there's a patch on the PTR. Let's see. It's probably just gonna be small stuff, but they released a new thing. They're like, general details about each hero's unique backstory, along with information about some of the lore-inspired skins have been added to the hero gallery. I'm like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Competitive play. A tracking system added to assault and assault escort maps that allows to break ties based on progress that was made towards capturing the objective. This is actually really useful because there's a running gag in the community where they call Anubis, draw Anubis, and two CP maps in general. Anubis, Hanamura, and Volskaya Industry are like, it's like draw central.
Yeah.
Because capping the second point is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then because the amount of progress you make towards capping it, whether like I can full hold you guys. Like we lose first point, get to the second point. You guys don't even touch the second point. We hold you for 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, we come in, we wipe you. We almost cap the point. There's like a fraction left. Someone gets on the point. You guys make a crazy comeback and you win.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still count as a draw. So now this won't happen. The amount of progress that you've made is going to count, and this is pretty cool. I think this is
good. This is actually a really good
thing. Custom game browser. I'm like, hero updates. I'm like, oh, a hero's getting updated. Lucio, I'm like, holy shit. So let's get into it really quickly. Sonic Amplifier. Projectile speed increased from 40 to 50. This is huge. I love this. I'm so happy about this. I think we both agree Lucio's gun is terrible.
I hate using it. Literally, that's the reason why I don't like playing him, is his gun. I hate shooting it.
You don't, because the projectiles are so slow, it's very difficult to feel like you're doing anything. Mm-hmm. You're just spamming in the direction of the enemies and hoping something happens. You're not actually aiming. Mm-hmm. And maybe these are the words of two bad Lucio players, but I think that is just Lucio, like Lucio's gun. I don't the projectiles are too slow and the game is too fast. Yeah. You need to be able to be like, oh shit, Tracer, let me help my Ana out. I just don't see how that's even possible. Yeah. So now that they've increased the speed, I actually watched some gameplay, and at certain ranges, it's crazy. So they might have to actually reduce his damage. So we'll see. But alternate fire now considered vertical orientation when knocking targets back. This is also really big because the thing with Lucio's boop, and it was weird, was that it didn't matter if you were below them. If you booped them, you always boop them back, right? Yeah. Now, if you are like below a Reinhardt and you're looking up at him and you boop him up. Mm-hmm. So this is pretty cool. This will allow for some interesting plays where you boop a Reinhardt up and your other Reinhardt earth shatters underneath his shield. But that's never going to happen. Why is Lucio right next to the enemy Reinhardt and not dead? This is the big one. Crossfade, that's Lucio's aura. Yeah. Song's area of effect radius decreased from 30 meters to 10 meters. It is insane. To give you guys some kind of visual representation, Zenyatta's Discord Orb's max maximum range is 40 meters, right? That is
Right.
how big. So take like 10 meters off that. That's how big. And keep in mind, this was 30 meters all around Lucio, right?
Yeah.
10 meters is the radius of May's ultimate.
Yeah.
An 88% reduction in size. I did the math.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I was prepared for this. I did my research. So, they've added a little in-game visual thing to let you know.
This I do like. I like a lot because
yeah.
There's so many times where I'm playing Lucio and I'm like, I see the number, but I just want to know where the cutoff point is, you know?
Yeah.
And now there's a visual indicator. I think it's going to help a lot of Lucio players.
Yeah. So there's a visual indicator to let you know how big your range is. It's not very big anymore.
Yeah.
However, the trade-off, Heal Song, healing per second increased by 50%. Also applies to Lucio's amped up ability. So I did some quick math. Lucio's current heal, he heals for 12.5 health per second. With this new change, it goes up to 19, so just under 20, which is 10 less than Zenyatta. And this is an AoE, right? Now his amped up goes from 36 to 54, which is 6 less than Mercy, which is an AoE. So, this is a part that has a lot of people worried because like right now Lucio Ana is a really, really popular combination. And tank stacking. The issue with tank stacking before, right, was that you pick your 4 tanks or your 3 tanks. You pick your Reinhardt, your Zarya, your Roadhog. You put a 76 or a Diva in there. You put Ana, you put Lucio, and then you just group up, all 6 of you. You group up together, and whenever anyone tries to attack you, Ana drops the Bionade, and with Lucio, and this was back when Bionade double healing. And with Lucio's passive healing, you were fine. First of all, you had like 2,000 HP.
Yeah.
And then you add that in with Ana's insane healing and Lucio's passive healing, and you were fine. Now, with this, you drop the Bionade, and those numbers that I listed, they don't double, sorry. Oh, thank God, they don't double anymore. You had an extra 50% of those numbers that I listed. So it goes from 19, okay, I actually didn't do the math on this, I wasn't prepared for this. It goes from 19 health per second to 10 to that, 20, 10, to about 30 health per second, which is Zenyatta's healing per second as an AoE. And then it goes from 60, let's just round up, 60 health per second to 90 health per second for your entire team. And this is ignoring 76, because you're probably going to run a 76. 76 drops his biofield as well. And this is also ignoring Ana's actual healing. The 70 health per second. Well, no, the 100 health per second that she's doing, that she's hit you with a Bionade. So this has me a little worried. I'm not going to lie. I did not enjoy tank stacking.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to play against. It wasn't fun to play. And I was so happy when they nerfed Ana, and it wasn't fun to play against, it wasn't fun to play, and it wasn't fun to watch. So I was happy when they nerfed Ana and they got rid of it. So now with this change, because first of all, this change is going to hurt high mobility heroes like Genji and Tracer. Genji and Tracer don't synergize with Lucio anymore.
Well, yeah, because the biggest thing now is that essentially the big thing is that his aura being so much smaller now, it's gonna make that, because one of the more popular things about Lucio was that he had a relatively big aura, so he could just kind of drip feed his teammates with heals. Everyone could get one, but now what it seems, it's actually kind of interesting because it reminds me of the changes in League of Legends to Sona, which is another character that I played, in which Sona was a very big aura-based character, and then later down the line, they reworked her to have a much smaller aura, but the aura itself gave a lot more, boosts to things.
How'd that work out?
Mixed effect. In League of Legends, it worked out fine. The problem is that the problem in that game is that because Sona doesn't have a lot of good escapes, she ends up just getting absolutely destroyed half the time, unless the team is really good at protecting her. But in this, in particular, Lucio is pretty fast, and he can be pretty hard to get. And we haven't even talked about how I think he gets a speed boost when wall running. or something like
Yeah,
that.
okay, yeah. So let's add a couple other things. So sound barrier, the radius has been decreased from 30 meters to 20 meters. Because of Lucio's increased healing and his potentially increased damage, he's going to build sound barrier a lot faster now. So
Mm-hmm.
this is probably necessary.
Yeah.
Then wall ride. Movement speed increased by 30% when wall riding. Lucio now received the burst of speed when leaping off the wall. So first things first, Lucio is going to be impossible to kill now.
Yeah.
Just don't even bother. If you're a Genji, a Tracer, a Pharah, you're just not going to be able to kill Lucio anymore. With his increased passive healing, his increased movement speed, his increased mobility, there's just like I always just joke about how Lucio is the hardest hero to kill in the entire game, and I think it's going to ring like 50% through. Now it's just you're just never going to kill a Lucio anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side of this, because like here's the thing, and let me just read Blizzard's developer comments before I get into everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little long, so get comfortable. Lucio has often felt like a must pick due to his raw healing output and the versatility of providing a speed bonus to your entire team. The goal of these changes is to keep those elements feeling strong but making them harder to apply to everyone on your team at all times. The end result is that he should feel stronger with teams that he can stay close to, but not as strong when on teams with heroes that are often spread out, such as Pharah, Widow, Genji. Well,
Yeah.
literally the
Literally what you just
much
said.
of Lucio's character power was tied up in his large passive auras, which caused other elements of his kit to be weakened over time in an attempt to balance him. Now his auras are more focused to allow them to be much stronger and allow Lucio to be more active in his role. So now, first of all, I just want to say one thing. I actually really, really love this redesign. I
Mm.
think similar to the Bastion redesign, I think there's gonna be growing pains. You're gonna have to like tweak some numbers as
Yeah.
things go. Like I said, they might have to reduce his damage because the projectile speed is higher, and they might have to reduce the healing because they might have to reduce the healing to balance things out or increase the healing. We don't know, but I do like this change. I hate Lucio. Like he is my least favorite healer in the game. This guy from someone who shits on Mercy like all the time.
And I take offense to that because I'm a Mercy man.
I would rather play Mercy than play Lucio because there's a joke that I read somewhere. I read on Reddit. Right?
Yeah.
There's a joke that I read on Reddit, and this dude was talking about how my face when I'm playing Lucio and people spam I need healing, and then he posts a picture of Lucio and the caption is exists harder, right? And like the joke, and what made it funny was that is just the thing with Lucio. Like you just have to exist to affect the game. You don't have to really do anything. Like, first of all, like we said, your projectiles aren't. You're not adding much to the DPS. With your projectiles are way too slow.
Yeah.
So you're not adding any consistent DPS. Any map, because I just realized that the only maps where I enjoyed playing Lucius were maps that had ledges on them. So
Well, that's what I mean. Is that like whenever I play Lucio, I'm like my aura healing. I'm just here. Like all I have to do is just kind of stay alive, and maybe amp it up at the right moment, to keep things going. And the funnest thing to do with Lucio is to boop people off the map, and because shooting his gun feels terrible. So you're supposed to do that, but it sucks. So yeah, honestly, that was part of the reason why I play him the least. Is he's a very easy to play. He's a very easy to play, and he's a very like versatile hero in the game. But he's just not fun to play. Like I have so much more fun gliding to people as Mercy, pulling out my pistol if I need to do a crazy 1v1, or damage boosting Pharah when she's ulting and watching the team just get wrecked. Like I have more fun playing Mercy. I have more fun playing Zenyatta. Hell, I even have more fun playing Ana, even though I suck as her.
I mean, people generally consider Ana to be like one of the most engaging healers because there's just so much you can do. But
Lucio, we're talking about Lucio this podcast.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that woman. I love you, Ana.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't get me started. But yeah, no, because I think we both play healers, and neither of us plays Lucio, even though he's one of the best healers in the game. Because it just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything when you're playing Lucio. I remember the first time I picked up Lucio, my friends were like, "They just don't die," and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, "Okay," And then sure, like even like sure when you play like with a coordinated team and you're timing your speed boost and stuff like that, then there's a little more. It feels a little more engaging. But I feel like this is a step. This is definitely a step in the right direction. What people are worried about is that this is going to promote tank stacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if your entire team is sticking within a 10-meter radius of each other to take advantage of their healer. First of all, Yana is doing it wrong because you have a sniper that's staying in the front line, right? Second of all, it severely limits the kinds of offensive and defensive strategies you can take. Unlike King's Row, for example, the way sometimes people position themselves is that you have a Reinhardt on the point. He's on the point and he's protecting the point. But then you have your 76 on the high ground. Then you have like your Ana upstairs inside one of those hotel rooms. She can see the whole place and she can like protect people. And then you have your Lucio like down somewhere. You can't do that anymore with this. Okay, you can, but now everyone won't get access to the aura.
To the aura.
I really like this change. Like I said, I there's gonna be growing pains. Like for sure, when this patch hits live, there's gonna be problems because this is such a radical change. Like here's the thing. Like there was a joke I read a long time ago about Lucio. Talking about how Lucio has been so ubiquitous to Overwatch that Blizzard should just remove him from the game and make his abilities passives that every hero has. Because like I look at things from like I look at things from like the casual perspective. Casual players don't play Lucio. Casual players hate Lucio. But like from a competitive perspective, Lucio is literally the only hero that has never not been meta.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Lowest Lucio's pick rate has been 80%. One of the biggest issues with the support meta as a whole has always been that you play two supports. You never play more than two supports, right? And then because one of the supports is always going to be Lucio, then you have three supports vying for one spot. And that's the issue that then arose, right? Is that then they're literally all competing against each other because none of them can compete with Lucio, So now, hopefully with this, you have a situation where even if this, okay, here's the thing, even in his current state, if he goes live like this, even if he ends up being too strong, he will be too strong in a specific lineup. He won't be too strong in every single lineup. So we already have an improvement right there. You can't play Lucio with Genji, Tracer, and Pharah anymore. It just won't work. You literally can't play Lucio with Pharah anymore because you can't.
Like his aura is 10 meters. Like Pharah's gonna be flying like God knows how high, and she's not gonna get anything.
Yeah, so like all of a sudden, like you have a dive comp and you can't stick Lucio in it anymore. So now all of a sudden, Mercy, Mercy, Ana, and Zenyatta are theoretically anyway better options because like Ana can heal Tracer and Genji in the back line. Sure, it takes like 100 hours of practice to do that properly, but she can theoretically do it. Mercy has the mobility to hop from one person to another. Zenyatta has the Harmony Orb. So all of a sudden now he's not the best answer for a high mobility comp on paper. On paper. Let's establish that. But yeah, this is a really big change, and I'm glad they did this. I think this is stepping in the right direction. I'm definitely gonna give him a try because I like playing healer, but then so more when healers get to, especially now with the Mercy change, with the Resurrection change, and with the Ana DPS nerf, like we could see like some diversity. Now I say this every time. I literally say this every time healers get changed, and things always go back to Lucio plus either Mercy, Zen, or Ana. That's how it just went.
That's how
we went from Mercy to Zen to Ana. So hopefully this time it actually works out.
Well, we'll find out. Like, honestly, I'm going to give... once this hits live, I'm going to give it a shot. I'll give Lucio a shot and see... Because the gun thing, I think, might make a difference for me. Because the healing thing is good. Because the healing thing might make playing him a lot more fun. But if the gun is better to shoot, if I'm having fun shooting the gun, then I will more likely want to play Lucio than before. So that's my biggest thing.
Same here. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna give this a try. So yeah, just a quick. It's funny. By the time you guys see this, all this stuff would have been posted already. But yeah, because just a quick update. Orissa's actually launching on the 21st, so the same day as on Andromeda. So you'll be playing that, but I will.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like I've been playing a lot of Overwatch because after the Chinese New Year event ended, I was like, I'm gonna take a break till the new hero comes out, and I thought she was gonna come out a lot earlier, and
Yeah.
she did. So so now that Orisa's coming out on Tuesday, or now that Orisa is already out, I'm gonna be posting a lot more footage. I'm gonna post like walkthroughs of Orisa. I'm gonna post a walkthrough of the new Bastion because the nerf for Bastion hasn't hit consoles yet, and I was like, I'm also not playing until that nerf hits. So I'm gonna post videos for the new Bastion. I'm gonna post videos for like the new Ana, the new Sombra, probably not the new Sombra, the new Winston, all that stuff. So yeah, look forward to all of that. And then eventually, when this Lucio patch hits, probably if I had to guess, I'd say maybe 2 weeks. So Orisa sitting on the 21st, then the 28th, and then the Tuesday after the 28th is probably when this Lucio patch is going to hit. But yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of Overwatch footage coming, so look forward to that. But yeah, I'm so excited. This is cool. This is really cool. I'm glad Blizzard did this.
I'm very interested to see. Very, very interested to see. But we can go into our question of the day if we're ready to go.
Yes.
Alrighty. That was a weird pause. No, I'll say it. Oh, wow, man. I'm still thinking about Mass Effect. My brain's all scrambled. Alright, so, question of the day. What lesser represented demographic of a people or group would you like to see more in a leading, starring role in video games?
You want to take first look at this?
I guess I can. Well, honestly, we're starting to see, from at least from my perspective, because I always like strong female leads, right? Because it's nice to see them. It's nice to see strong female leads make more of a occurrence in video games. We're starting to actually get some really good ones. Like I'm hearing a lot of positive reviews for Aloy, who's the main character of Horizon, and I like seeing that. I'd like to see more of that, especially. Because there's so many video games in which women are just presented as like, the damsel in distress. Props. Yeah, props. So it's like it would be nice for better writing and better characters. This is more of a thing, and like it doesn't have to really even be like leading. I just want better female characters in video games, just in general.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind also seeing some other other races as well, like that are less, because especially like I really like Lee Everett as the main character in The Walking Dead season 1. I think he was a great lead as well, and it's a shame that we don't see other races being like that. I can't think. It's hard for me to like pinpoint a specific group, because there's a lot of different groups of people that I would love to see more. In like more representation in the video game industry. It's not just like one for me. That's why this is a little bit hard, because it's like I don't want to specify a specific group. I would rather say I just want to see more of everyone. Like that. I guess that's really what I honestly. But for me, the other big thing as far as like I guess a group or a demographic, I really just want to see better female characters in leading roles. That in particular, I think is important, because it has been a big problem in the video game industry, as really bad female characters in video games has been it's been a plague in the video game industry for so long, and I'm glad that we're starting to see that slowly get fixed. So I would like that to be pushed forward in the future. I guess this would be the best way for me to answer this. But what about you, Fawaz?
But have you ever considered running for like office? That was such a what's that word? That was such a politically correct answer. You're like which lesser represented demographic of people would you like to see in a leading role? You're like all of them.
Well, it's like I don't want to. It's like it's.
You know that, right?
I know, but it's like it's with these kind of questions, I have to be careful, because I don't want to accidentally say something really stupid, because I am super.
It was so funny listening to you, because it just sounded like you were just stepping around. You're like Lee Everett was a really good protagonist, but I don't want to say more black people, so because I don't know how Fawaz is going to react.
Oh, this is exactly what Get Out, that movie that just came out, is all about.
Oh my god! But no, I feel you. I actually agree with you. But just for the sake of discussion, I was gonna. I completely agree. Like, I want to see more like more women. I want to see more black people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like one of the
Yeah.
reasons I was so excited when Orisa got revealed was because she was like a West African character. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see more black women. I want to see more Africans. I want to see more Asians. They've got like the whole of the Japanese video game industry.
Like
But so if I
I think Asian characters have a lot going in the video game industry as a
so
whole.
no, they're fine. They're fine. They ain't got no problems.
Yeah.
Well, like the East Asians, they're fine. Like
Yeah.
Indians and people like that, not so much.
Not so much.
But if I had to pick absolutely one group, I pick Native Americans, right?
Interesting.
I feel like they've been completely like ignored as far as video games are concerned. It's almost as if they don't even exist. So I definitely like.
Yeah. I think
like
the
to see
only
more
Native American character I can think of was a character in Red Dead Redemption, and he was pretty cool as because he was making because he was always paired off with this one really racist white guy, and he would always point out how stupid he is.
But yeah, she's just like that right there. Like I can name a video game with a female lead. I can name like 5 that came out this year.
Yeah.
Right. I can name a video game with a black lead. There aren't a lot of them, but they do exist. I can name a bunch of video games with Asian leads. With Russians. Yeah. Nico.
Yeah.
No, Nico is Eastern Europe.
Yeah. Russian. You could also say Metro. The main character's Russian.
Yeah. I can, but like to name a video game with a Native American. That's one of the reasons people were so disappointed when the old Prey got like changed, right? Because the old Prey was going, the Prey 2, the old like Prey sequel was going to follow a Native American bounty hunter, right? So when it got changed, and then it got changed to this Bioshock looking game with some
white guy.
That was one of the reasons why people were disappointed, and I can definitely understand why, because like I cannot name Native American characters.
I like okay.
Characters.
I don't know.
Not lead characters.
No, because it's like
characters.
because I don't know for sure, and I don't want to sound ignorant, but is the main character in Turok technically native?
I think so.
I think so, because that's the only other one that I could think of, other than the character from Red Dead Redemption, at least off the top of my head.
Yeah, and it's like, I think the lead character from Turok was Native American, or at the very least he was supposed to be Native American.
Yeah.
But yeah. So definitely Native American. It's like they've barely been represented at all in video games, in anything, if we're being completely honest. But let's focus our search here, and they've been very poorly represented in video games. You can make a black character in most video games. You can't really make a Native American character in a video game.
Well, there's a lot. Like honestly, it's how can I put this? It's interesting because like when you're writing a character, like a lot of times, like I feel like when you have to think a little bit about how the race of that character is an element, not necessarily, it's not like the driving point of the character, but it is something that is there. You know what I mean by that? It's like I don't know if that's a big thing, because because I'm trying to think like what is particular reason why we haven't seen that many native characters in video games or in things, and I think it's just I don't know, maybe it's just because they've been so poorly misrepresented in media like before that nobody knows what to do. I don't know what.
I think, and this is 100% speculation, but I think it's multiple issues, and this is I'm gonna get on my soapbox here, right? So I think there's multiple issues. Like the first and foremost, the biggest issue is that I don't believe there are not a lot of Native American video game developers, because you write what you know.
Right. Yeah.
Like if it's like when I was younger and I wrote comic books, I wrote comic books with black characters. You look at like the comic book industry, and the reason why it's mostly white characters is because it's mostly white creators.
Right. Yeah.
That's just it. So like I feel like there aren't a lot of Native American creators. So there's that. That's number one. Number I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I honestly that's the main thing. You know, like it's just there's not a lot of creators, and when there's not a lot of creators, there's not gonna be a lot of content. So so yeah, we gotta work on diversifying our video game studios, and then we'll get more diverse characters. And then that's the other thing, right? Is that you don't want, like, I'm black and I'm Nigerian. I wouldn't want to write a Native American character.
Because you would know how to represent it properly.
I know how to write it properly. I'd write a caricature and I'd end up offending a bunch of people. So there's that, right? You don't want to write a Native American character if you're not Native American. You know, now obviously because you know, you, like I said, you write what you know, and I don't know shit about Native American culture. So there's that. You know, like it's better. I feel like 100%. At least speaking personally, I'd rather have a game with nothing but white protagonists than a game with poorly written black characters.
I guess, yeah. I guess that's
black
true.
Characters that were obviously written by white people that didn't know what they were
that they were doing.
Yeah. So yeah. That's I think that's definitely the biggest issue. There's probably other minor.
David Cage. Excuse me. David Cage. Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
My God. Oh my
Excuse me.
God.
Excuse me.
Just had to throw that in there. There we go. T-Hawk.
T-Hawk, yeah.
T-Hawk and then Thunder in Killer Instinct. So that's two Native American characters. Now, T-Hawk is extraordinarily racist. He's an extraordinarily racist character, but it's fine because every character in Street Fighter 2 is extraordinarily racist. For God's sake, Zangief is the Red Cyclone. Yeah. And, oh shit, Infamous Second Son, actually. The lead character in that was Native American. There we go. And no, I didn't hit up Google to figure this out. I'm not literally scrolling down the list. Right now. Assassin's Creed 3.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can't hear a scroll reel.
But yeah. Oh yes, and Turok was Native American.
Yeah, Turok. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no, that was a really, really good question, J Streets.
Very good question, J Streets.
But if you got a question, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, Room Liberty, and
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.